Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Nita here from Next with Nita, and I cannot believe I am here filming right now bare skin. So if you've been following me around on Instagram, I have been sharing a lot about my post-birth control experience and the acne, the cystic acne that I've been getting. It started out just hormonal, and I would get these really bad cystic acnes basically from cheek down to my jaw. Cheek down to my jaw, and that's when I figured out it was because of birth control and getting off of it. And since then I have been trying to figure stuff out, so you gotta bear with me. I've been trying lots of things, and some are sort of working and others are not at all, and I will be for sure sharing this journey with you and documenting all of it, so stay tuned for that. It's been a while since I filmed anything face related, and that's just because obviously acne can really be an insecurity and cause you to be just very self-conscious, and I don't know, lately I've just been wanting to hide. I barely go out. I live in New York where there's so much to do, and I've just said no to a lot of things, and it's been hard, needless to say. I thought it'd be a good idea to share how I do my best to cover cystic acne. After sharing this journey with y'all in stories, which was the hardest thing to do, so many of y'all could relate, and it just made me feel less alone. Even though it's miserable and I don't wish this upon any of you, it's just nice finding comfort there, like you're not alone and other people are like in the same boat. And so it made me realize that maybe I need to take this negative and turn it into a positive and try to be helpful in this experience. So here I am. Let's try to fix this, right? I need to get the day started. I need to go out today, so I figured I should just film how I conceal my cystic acne as best as I can. So first things first, I just want to let you know that cystic acne is like textured acne, so it's very hard to conceal. If you've tried it, you probably understand, like, because it's from within, like that bump or that lump is from within, and no matter what you do and how much makeup you put on, you can't get rid of that. It's a lot harder than just like regular acne, but we can do our best to get rid of the redness and of course like conceal how bad it really is underneath. In terms of skincare, a lot of you have been asking what I've been using. I'm trying out lots of new things, so just bear with me on that. But I wanted to tell you that the most important thing, at least for cystic acne, is for me, I have dry skin, and cystic acne on top of that gets even more like crusty, especially when it scabs over, and whenever I put on makeup, and this is something I've experienced, it's been like really cakey or flaky and it doesn't look good. So I've had to learn how to apply makeup when I have cystic acne, and so I wanted to share that. But the most important thing that I've purchased and I think is so worth getting is this vitamin E oil. I got this from Amazon. The tiny little bottle, honestly, little goes a long way with this. I have dry skin, which is why this is excellent for me, but also vitamin E is so good for your skin anyway, so I feel like you should always be incorporating that. It smooths all these fine lines. It's good for anti-aging, so I recommend applying vitamin E oil every single day. I started because of this, and I'm really glad I did, because it's helped my skin be more hydrated and feel more hydrated. I don't know if you can tell from this video, but my skin is like a glossy like mess, and I love it like this because usually I am dry and flaky and it doesn't look good. And so especially when you apply makeup, you want to just be hydrated and your skin is plump. So this has helped me so much. I spot treat it right here. I just kind of dab it specifically on the cystic acne so that whenever I put on makeup, it's not as crusty, and over time, like throughout the day, it doesn't get flaky. That's my biggest tip. Just use vitamin E oil. All right, let's go ahead and get started. After the vitamin E oil, I'm gonna jump right into primer. I've been using this Hourglass Mineralville primer right here. It is, if it can just focus, darling, focus. There we go. This has been really good. Also, I love Too Faced Hangover Primer. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this and apply it everywhere. We're gonna let that dry for a split second, and the next thing I'm gonna do is apply an even layer of foundation. So I like to use more of a hydrating and luminous foundation. You guys know NARS has been a go-to of mine. If you watch my stories, it's literally all I've been using. I just grabbed it for you. It's a bit of a mess. I'm in shade Barcelona. It's not my perfect match right now because I got a little tan, but it's not too far off, so I'm going to use this. Another thing I'm going to use is this Charlotte Tilbury product right here. I'm in shade medium 7. I mix that in with the NARS foundation because it just gives like a really nice glow and like a hydrated look, which is everything I needed more, especially when breaking out. We're going to go in and apply an even application. Also, I already did my eyebrows and my eyeshadow, so I'm trying to be careful not to get the makeup there. Now that I have an even application, I'm just going to take my beauty blender and just smooth out any edges. I don't know. I like to just go over it with a beauty blender just to make sure it's all smooth and even. So now I just want to show you what this side looks like right here. It's a little better, like the redness is mostly gone. The active one is the most frustrating because it is full on lumpy. But it did a solid job. Like this foundation and in combination with that Charlotte Tilbury glow, it's incredible. I'm gonna go with the concealer next. Normally I like to use Tarte Shape Tape or NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. Because I'm still trying to go for a very hydrated, glowy look here, I'm gonna stick with NARS Radiant. I'm gonna put it in the back of my hand rather than directly apply it to the pimple, just because I don't want to spread more bacteria. I don't want to contaminate the applicator or the bottle or anything like that. I'm going to take the concealer and I'm going to take a brush that kind of looks like this. And I'm going to take it and I'm just going to dab the concealer right on my pimple, okay? So like this. I'm going to dab. Just the ones that still seem pretty thick won't go away. So I took that concealer and I really just stippled it in right here on top of like the few that are really big, still kind of seeping through. The technique for this is to take your concealer, I like to take it on the back of my hand like so, apply it on the pimple, and you're gonna feather out the outside portion of the concealer, if that makes sense. So the reason you use this feathering motion on the outside is because you don't want to blend right on the pimple so much because it's going to totally take away the product, and you want that product to really stay put, but you do want the outside edges to be blended. So I have concealer here. I'm going to take some more, just kind of stipple that in right there, right on the pimple. I'm going to do some right here, a little bit more here, and then also get one right here. And then you're going to want to feather around where you put that pimple, so it looks very seamless. You can also use a beauty blender like the very tip, so it looks seamless around and sheer. Like you want the edges to be sheer, but you don't want the actual dot, like the pimple, to be sheer, if that makes sense, because you want that product there. I'm just kind of going around it. Same with these guys right here and right here. Now I'm going to take the foundation one more time and apply it over the outer edges of that concealer point. So that way it's more of a seamless, flawless finish. This never ends. All right, so this is what it looks like. This is what I've been doing to at least conceal some of the scarring, like the scarring here. This one is a straight up active cystic acne. The most I can do here is get rid of the redness. The actual lump, can't do anything about it. You kind of have to wait it out. I would suggest using tea tree oil and spot treat it, but that's kind of what it's gonna be, but it's actually, I feel like this combination worked really, really well because it looked a lot worse than this 10 minutes ago. I'm gonna go in real quick and just tackle my under eyes with the Tarte Shape Tape just to complete, or like begin to complete the look here. Take it down at the bridge of my nose. I'm now gonna lock in the concealer that I just put on my under eyes with this Charlotte Tilbury powder. I love this one because it honestly is not too drying. I'm not gonna over powder my skin because I do want this to be more of like a glossy look and hydrated. Now for these pimples, I do want to kind of lock it in place. I'm gonna use that same powder, this Charlotte Tilbury one right here. Gently tap on the pimple, and then same thing, feather around it. Tap, feather. This will help make sure like nothing is moving all day. All that work you just put in is not moving. Here's the thing when you do the rest of your makeup. My acne is specifically in areas that are very difficult when you put on bronzer because it comes down, like, well, specifically this side, it comes down right here and into my jaw. So I'm going to be very selective. I'm actually using like a blush brush instead of a bronzer brush, something more petite. I'll start up here for the bronzer. And then of course, you guys know my trick. If you have a large forehead, bring your bronzer down a little bit more and it'll just give you the illusion of a smaller forehead. Now for the cheek, I'm just gonna kind of squeeze this like this, the brush. This side's gonna be a little harder. I'm being super careful not to hit anything, not to hit the pimples. Let's go ahead and add some blush. I'm using Buxom's Blush in Wonderlust. It's a lot. That particular blush is very pigmented. I love it, it's gorgeous. Now I'm gonna go into highlight real quick. This is a Marc Jacobs highlight. Take my beauty blender and just scrape off some product and apply it down bridge of my nose. Whatever you do, don't highlight your pimples. Be very particular, be very tedious when you're going to highlight. Skip over those pimples, do whatever you can because you don't want to attract attention to those pimples even more. Thankfully, I don't have any right where my highlight's gonna be, so I'm just gonna take it as I normally would and apply right up here. Look at that glow. I mean, let people focus on that glow. So over highlight if you need to on certain parts of your face, just not the pimples part, just not the pimple parts. Pimple parts. Doesn't that look so much better, you guys? I feel a lot like myself now. So basically, just to kind of run through the steps, put vitamin E oil on it. It'll make a world of a difference, especially if your acne is scabbing. And then go ahead and just apply your primer and an even finish of your foundation, just like so that everything is sheer and it's even and it's nothing's like spotty and cakey. So blend it out, of course. I used a brush and then I kind of went over it with a beauty blender. And then I will spot treat with concealers. Use a concealer. My preference is to use something more hydrating because if it's cystic, it's already peeling and scabby and dry. Use a hydrating concealer, spot treat, and then feather out the edges so it's nice and seamless. You can use a beauty blender if you want, or a brush. And then right over that, take one more layer on a sponge foundation, like a sheer layer, just so it's all very even. That will help so much. And of course, don't forget to spot treat and powder over the pimple so it lasts, so the concealer and everything you worked on lasts all day. I love the Charlotte Tilbury one. I feel like it just soaks into your skin. It doesn't just sit on top. I love that. So it's very flawless. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just top on some lipstick and we will be good to go. From Laura Mercier. Added in a little bit of gloss to stick with the hydrating theme here. This is from Buxom. To finish off, I'm going to add some setting spray. This is Too Faced Hangover. I like to take my beauty blender, go over it so there's no splotches. All right, you guys, that is the finished look. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. This is just something that I've learned over trial and error, trying to conceal and hide my cystic acne. If you're going through this and if you're watching this to begin with, just know that I feel your pain. Been going through it the last 3-4 months, and I'm here for you. I'm gonna borderline start crying because it sounds silly, like it's something as acne, something small as acne, and it seems so superficial, but at the same time it's on your face and you see people all the time, whether you go to work, and it really can get you down and it really can hurt your self-confidence. So if you're going through this, just know that it's okay. There will be a light at the end of the tunnel, and if you need any tips or advice, I promise I'm going to share my journey with y'all, and DM me. I'm on Instagram, or just comment on YouTube. I feel like for me, there's less of you guys here, so I can respond to you more quicker here. But yeah, I hope you guys found this helpful. Don't let your acne get you down. I should probably, listen to myself here. At the end of the day, you are beautiful inside and out. Don't let your acne control you and take over your entire life. So just my advice, something that I've had to learn and cope with. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys found this helpful. If you have any questions at all, of course, let me know, and we will chat soon. Bye.